Choi Malja was walking her friends home when a stranger asked for directions. She answered, politely. That's how it started. Normal, ordinary, until he lunged, forced her to the ground, covered her nose so she couldn't breathe, forced his mouth on hers, tried to raise her but she bit down, hard, half an inch of flesh. That's what it took to survive. She ran, she lived, but surviving wasn't enough. Not in a world where women who fight back are punished. He got 6 months suspended, not for the attack, not for what he did. For trespassing and intimidation, Choi got 10 months, for grievous bodily harm. They chained her wrists, they forced her legs apart for a virginity test. Then they announced the results publicly. They asked if she wanted to marry her attacker. They called her unstable. They called her the tongue biter. They called her everything except what she was, a survivor. And that conviction, it followed her for 61 years. Every job interview, every background check, every whisper behind her back. There goes the woman who bit off a man's tongue. They said she used too much force, that her reaction wasn't reasonable, as if she should have paused mid-assault and calculated the acceptable level of resistance, as if survival should be polite. She got married, raised a family, tried to move on. But some injustices live in your bones. When the Me Too movement erupted, something inside her, the teenager who knew she'd been wronged, came back to life. She filed for retrial. They said no. She appealed. They still said no. And then, finally, the Supreme Court said yes. September 11th, 2025. Busan District Court. 79 years old. Bright pink blazer. Choi Malja stood tall as the verdict rang out. Justifiable self-defense. She wept. Her supporters wept, because this wasn't just about her. It was about every girl told to stay quiet, every woman punished for surviving, every person who dared to fight back and was told they went too far. I wanted to be a source of hope, she said, and she is, because sometimes justice takes 61 years. Sometimes you have to outlive your shame to reclaim your name. But sometimes, the truth refuses to die. She didn't just survive. She stayed alive long enough for the world to finally understand. When someone attacks you, you have the right to make them stop. By any means necessary.